Welcome to Soccer We Like It, the Man United direction. Today we're going to have a part one and a part two. We're talking about the preview match of the big match on Super Sunday, North versus South, Arsenal versus Manchester United. And we're going to dabble into something the fans will be talking about. Is Bruno Fernandes a captain or a bully? Joining me today is Vim, the analyst from UK. Vim, let's get the show part. How are you, mate?
Hey Tim, how you doing?
I'm all right, mate. It's Saturday. One day more for the big game.
Saturday. Yeah.
How are you feeling? Confident?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a tough
That
game.
year dragged out like, is it because there's no Casemiro?
That does contribute to it. Yeah. I mean, for me, he's the key man in this team for this season. He's given us that stability that we've
Right,
been missing for
right.
so long, and the way he just intercepts, pickpockets, nicks the ball off players, and an
Mm,
immediate transition
mm,
into an attack.
right.
There's no one else that does that. And so for Ten Hag to play him on a yellow card against Crystal Palace, I
That
think
was,
was a
oh,
bad
tempt,
move.
I thought that was tempting fate, mate.
It's a bad move.
Yeah, and because if you know a player of that magnitude is on a yellow card and a crunch game at Crystal Palace, how do you honestly comprehend he will not get a yellow card? Even if he doesn't, they will make sure he does because you know, you know what it is. These are footballers. They know when players need to be screwed up, and they'll do what it takes. And
Yeah,
he's not that guy who's just going to back out of a tackle. So I thought Ten Hag
no.
got that really, really wrong. He should
The
have
thing is,
not started. He should have either brought him in late or taken off early.
Casemiro is he's known for getting yellow cards. At Real Madrid, he was picking up yellow cards all the time, and he does those instinctual tackles where he just takes the player out. Yes, he's late a lot of the times, but he breaks up the attack. And I was watching that replay back again. He was trying to pass the ball to Bruno.
Mm,
Bruno didn't get there in time, and then he hopped over the player to avoid injury.
mm,
That player then moved forward, and Casemiro took him out. I would think it was Zaha. Um, so they were looking at each other. Casemiro got up and looked at Bruno like, you know, why didn't you stop the ball? Why didn't you do something? And now I've had to take a yellow because you didn't make that pass. So it's almost like he was blaming Bruno for it, but he's also got to blame himself because he knows he cannot pick up another yellow.
exactly.
Um, so
Didn't Bruno
and
serve a ban recently? Bruno served a ban, didn't he? I think he served a
uh,
one-match ban because he had accumulated a few yellows.
probably, yeah,
I think he did.
probably, yeah.
But now, as it stands now against Arsenal, are United fans confident anymore?
I think I think losing Casemiro does take the wind out of your sails ever so little. It's like a little tear in the sail.
Mm,
I think we still have what it takes to win, but we are playing the informed team in the Premier
I
League.
know, right?
Yeah. And what I thought was going to be a three-pointer against Crystal Palace turned out not to be. It was just a careless draw in the end.
Right.
So, I think at the moment, Arsenal are feeling stronger, feeling more confident. We've had a bit of a knockback. We've lost our key man. Rashford doesn't look didn't have a good game. I'm hoping that he bounces back. We have to really see now. I mean, it's and plus it's at Emirates, so everything's
Exactly.
stacked in Arsenal's favour.
Have they lost the whole this season? I don't think they have.
Lost what?
Have they lost any games at home?
Oh, I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
think they
know.
have. I
I
don't
don't
think they
know.
have, mate.
Yeah.
They beat
Plus,
Liverpool there.
yeah.
They haven't
Oh,
played
sorry. No,
City
we beat them. We beat them.
at Old
Oh, yeah,
Trafford.
but your home games, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Home games, I don't know.
I don't think they
So we
have.
beat them 3-1 at our ground, and now we
Mm.
have to go to their ground, and their ground's quite intimidating. And you're going to
It,
get the
it,
noisy Arsenal fans intimidating the players and so on.
and they're on the high after destroying Spurs
Yeah,
at the lane. It's like,
I
really?
think it's they're clearly the bookies' favourite to
I
win.
think so, mate. And
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm trying. I just have to see how we do tomorrow. But
yeah,
I have a feeling before the Casemiro dismissal, I thought we won't lose that game. We will take the
yeah,
result there. Now I'm thinking, I'll take a draw, mate. I'll take a draw.
yeah.
I'll
And
take
I think a
1 point.
draw is very achievable because defensively we're pretty good. Yeah, we defend very well. We're pretty good off the ball. We're pretty good on the ball.
Mm.
Transitions are good, but we need Rashford firing. I think we can definitely defend very well in this game because we're quite a good, strong defensive unit. As long as Mr. Maguire's just warming the seats, warming the bench.
Right. So
But
I've got
yeah,
to give you the hard question now. You know what's
go
coming
on.
in. What's the predicted score from you?
I'll take a draw, 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very cagey affair. I think Arsenal are going to come at us, and we are going to defend. I'm going to defend like Titans, but I think they'll nick the first goal, and then Ten Hag's going to get his whip, start, cursing everyone at half time, and say, "Look, guys, I'm not going here with a loss. I'm not leaving here with a loss. So you're going to need to come back in this game, and we'll probably nick a goal." And it's either going to be Rashford or Wood to score.
Does Anthony start? Because this is not going to
No,
be losing the ball. It's
no.
just not that game. You can't
Anthony
afford to be losing the possession a lot in this game. I'm telling you.
Anthony seems to have lost his focus. Maybe he's living up the high life in Manchester. He had a car accident, didn't he? In a big
Yeah.
expensive car.
Yeah.
I see him dressing in all these nice, expensive clothes and
Designer
hanging out with
gums.
his mates.
But was he
Designer
not like
garms.
that was he like that in Ajax or
I
now
don't know.
he's now
I've-
arrived?
Yeah, well, he's in the
He's
big
elevated.
boys. Yeah, he's in the big boys league now, and he's earning big money. And how old is he?
23.
Yeah, so 23 to be to reach multi-millionaire stardom and be all over the papers and be in all the news, and Manchester United get so much publicity. He's famous now, so he might need that period of adjustment where he's takes in that stardom and then learns to grow up. I just don't. I think he's a little bit unreliable at the moment, and I would like to see someone
When you say
else.
unreliable, inconsistent, or both.
He's inconsistent and he's unreliable.
Okay.
I was watching Ziyech play today
Mm.
against Liverpool,
Mm.
playing exactly the same position. So Ziyech sticks to that right hand side. He either goes past players or he crosses, or he comes back and he does something pretty creative.
Right.
He doesn't just cop out and just give it to someone else. He does something. He creates a lot. I know he's not as fast. He's definitely lost his pace, but he still adds value, especially in this game.
Mm.
The other one there wasn't so good, but I'd want to see more end product from Anthony. He's got to go past the player, or he's got to start whipping the ball in, and he's not doing much
None
of
of the
that.
above.
Yeah.
So that brings us to is Martinez fit enough to start?
Yes. I mean, I don't know how bad his
So
head
we're going
injury
with
was.
Martinez and Veron.
Yeah,
That's what we're
well,
going.
I was thinking something different. So I don't know how bad his head injury is, but it looked pretty bad the other day. I don't know if he's got a cut, or a concussion, or whatever, but obviously he played on with a big bandage on his head. Martinez has played as a CDM, and I know we haven't played him as a CDM, but he has a similar type of playing style to Casemiro in the sense that he knows how to pickpocket the players. He knows how to nick a ball off them, and he knows how to pass the ball forward with some accuracy. He makes transitions. He starts an attack. That's exactly what Casemiro does. Scott McTominay doesn't do that for me. Scott McTominay has grown up as a striker, as a centre forward, and he likes to just be at that end of the pitch.
Yes.
He doesn't have that defensive mindset that Casemiro or Martinez has. So I'm wondering, could Martinez be deployed in that position as a CDM?
You know where I stand on that. I honestly think if a player hasn't played there and you play those kind of things, you've seen him do it before. But the game of this magnitude, you kind of like, because put it this way, them Arsenal players, they're going to try and wind him up and get him to concede free kicks and all that stuff. You know what I mean? The last thing you need is going there and playing the game 10 men. You just don't need that. Because
So
them guys, they're going to wind him up and force him into making rash tackles.
I think that's normal. That's
So I
normal. So
think
if it doesn't,
McFred seems to be the solution.
yeah, but I mean, look, unless we've got to revitalize McFred and they start to work better, because under Oli they weren't that good. They never have been that good. I mean, how much criticism did they get? McFred
A lot. They still
a
play.
lot.
But
And you know that when we have two CDMs or two defensive midfielders,
there's nothing going forward.
there's not enough players to go forward and create an attack. So we need Bruno, we need Ericsson to do that creation. But then if you play Fred and McTominay, one of those have to drop, right?
Can
Unless
Fred
we
play
change the
that
formation.
CDM role? No.
Fred, they're both similar. Look, Fred is a good tackler. He's got a good work rate, and he has to make that extra effort to compensate for the lack of technical ability he has.
Right.
Scott McTominay is late. A lot of the times, he's a bit clumsy with his tackles.
Yeah.
He takes players out.
Yes.
And Casemiro has that finesse that those two don't have. So do we have to then sacrifice creativity in midfield to play McFred, or do we try and put in Martinez and give him the support he needs from other players on the pitch and try out for the first half? If he struggles, get McTominay on or Fred. I don't know. Ten Hag's going to have to be thinking about this hard, but I'm sure that might be an option because he knows Ten Hag has played Martinez as a CDM and as a left centre back. He's played him as both, so he knows that he can do it.
So we know De Gea, we know Shaw's going to start, we know Wan-Bissaka's going to start, we know Varane's going to start, we know Martinez is going to start, but we don't know if Martinez is going to play as a defender or as a midfielder. Then you go into the midfield. Do you play Ericsson, Fred, and Bruno? McTominay and Fred and Bruno? McTominay, Fred, Ericsson? So there's so many little
combinations,
but McTominay I don't think will start. I don't think McFred will start.
No, I hope not.
I don't think they will
start. For me, if we go with the safe option of keeping Martinez as centre back, then I think it has to be Fred. I think Fred is definitely more in form than McTominay.
Fred, Ericsson and Bruno.
Yeah, you need Bruno and Ericsson together because they can't do it on their own. They just can't. When you have two outlets of creativity, you're providing more service to the people up front. And the one person, because when Bruno was on his own, the guy used to struggle. He really struggled.
Yeah. Then, if you go to the attacks, it was Rashford, Anthony.
Wout.
Oh, so you're saying Wout will go center, Rashford left, and your friend Anthony on the right?
No, I would like to see Pellistri make an appearance again.
Not happening, mate. Not gonna.
It's not happening. I'd like to see it though, because when he did come on, that guy is a little live wire, and he's hungry. He's focused. He's determined, which is what Anthony's not at the moment. So if we don't play Pellistri and we don't play Anthony, what other options have we got?
Elanga.
Forget that.
Why?
He has no end product.
Energy.
There's no end product.
At least he runs at players.
Mate, I got energy. You give me, 6 cans of Lucozade, I got energy.
Lucozade.
Give me 6 cans of Red Bull, I got energy. But you need end product. You're gonna play right forward. You want to you want to stop testing that goalkeeper. You want to whip in crosses. You want to harass that defense, and he probably does the last one.
Right.
Doesn't do the first two.
Okay. Right. During this game against Crystal Palace, a lot of fans were talking about Bruno's verbal bashing of Anthony when Anthony lost a pass or whatever Anthony was doing that was not going wrong. People have now have been commenting, is Bruno a captain, a leader, or actually a bully? Where do you stand on this? But isn't that what people want as a compassionate son who shows passion? Like, get on with it. Maguire didn't do that. Maguire didn't confront the referee to say, I don't agree with this decision. Now we have someone who does it. We have a problem. Vim, talk to me.
Maguire's captaincy consists of this. All right. Maguire's captaincy consists of this. Pointing at others.
Right.
Yeah, he may have said something, yeah, come on guys, let's go. But it was just like that and that. Bruno is a different kettle of fish. I mean, while Maguire was captain, Bruno was the proxy captain. And for me, as soon as he came to our club, he showed leadership on the pitch from day one.
Right.
He plays with passion. He plays with desire. That guy hates losing, and he hates it when his team start failing him. Yes, we know that Bruno does give away the ball, but that's going to happen because if you are trying to make these, these Hollywood passes and these amazing passes and trying defense splitting passes, it's not going to be right all the time. You're going to have to keep trying and trying and trying, and then a percentage of those passes are going to get through, and they're going to be the clincher. How many amazing passes have we seen Bruno make which have led to a goal? Many. Yet people just keep latching on to the passes that he gives away. The fact is, you've got to try. You've got to try and make passes. Keep going, keep going, keep going, and some of them are going to get through, and some of them are going to be clinchers, game clinchers. I think he plays with the passion and desire that this club needs. Yes, he does get emotional, and yes, he does wear his heart on his sleeve. It's clear to everyone. And I think what happened with that incident with Anthony was that Anthony was just delaying too much, dilly-dallying. He likes to do his fancy footwork, like he's
Right.
doing some salsa. He does a bit too much salsa and not that incisive pass quickly. I think
Right.
Bruno was going and he delayed, and then Anthony passed, but he passed away from him.
Right.
So it's like they weren't
On the same
on the
wavelength.
same page, on the same wavelength. That Bruno's expecting it earlier and he didn't give it. And so I think it's about time that he starts trying to connect with other players and figuring out what they want, what their style of play is. You just as you get to play with players, you know when they want the ball. You
Right.
know what
Right.
their tricks are. You know that okay,
He
he's going
wants
to
the
make
ball on
a
his side. He wants the
sideways
ball.
run, or he's going to go run there, or he's going to point there, or something like that. You start to learn how the players play, and Anthony's going to start. He's going to have to start connecting better. But I don't think Bruno's a bully. I don't think he's a bad captain. I think he's emotional. I think he's passionate, and I think he gives everything. His work rate is good. He's defending. He's helping out right backs, left backs. He's helping out attack. He's everywhere on the pitch. I think he's good. I think he's a good player. I've always liked Bruno, and I know he does make mistakes and he gets criticised heavily. And frankly, is that if you're a Man United fan, you've got to support your captain, and I think the captain's doing okay.
Right. From what social media fans are saying that he needs to look at himself before he criticizes other players, that he loses the ball a lot, who gives him the audacity and effrontery to criticize other players when his performance is absolutely abysmal. But they also said it's players, you don't talk to players like that. I'm like, how are you supposed to? Oh, don't
Uh,
pass the ball wrongly, pass this way. Okay,
but
carry on.
what did he say? Puta or something, yeah? And then Anthony
Well,
was giving it
they
back.
said, the verbal exchange showed aggression. That, I told a few fans if this, that none of these players will survive in a Roy Keane era. They said it's a different era. You can't talk to players. No, 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 no. So you ask,
He's a
the
captain.
captain is the general, is the manager's
Yeah,
mouthpiece.
yeah.
So,
The captain is going to be probably the most aggressive or the most the one that shows leadership on the pitch. He's
right.
got a right to speak to his players. He's got to speak to his players.
Mm,
If they keep messing up, he's got to tell them off.
right.
What is it? What else is captain supposed to do? Captain is
It's
supposed to
supposed
just
to
do that.
pacify
Just
and
do that. Do
babysit
that.
is what they want.
Yeah. Air traffic control.
Exactly.
Is that what a captain does?
Because I say this, and I believe Roy Keane and Brian Robson, one of the greatest managers that played, one of the greatest captains of Man United. They did not want to lose, and if you messed up, they will tell you. Roy
Mm,
Keane, you could, if you remember those days, he would go to Gary Neville's face and tell him like,
yeah.
why did that guy get past you? He would go to
Yeah.
Schmeichel's face and talk.
Yeah.
But these days, oh, you can't say that.
Why not?
Oh, he hurt my feelings. I'm going to tell my agent.
Oh no, he
I'm
called
being
me puta,
psychologically, I'm psychologically being abused in the club.
mate. It's
Is it,
just,
is it a different era? Are we talking now?
it's. I don't think so. Football is an aggressive game. I still play football. I captain the team, and if my players are slacking, I'll give them some verbal warnings in a nice way. I won't swear them or call them puta. Uh,
Mm,
but I say, if we're playing for a win, you've got to play for a win, man. And if one of your players is slacking, you've got to let them know.
right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Football is an aggressive game. It's a
It's
high
an aggressive sport,
test.
and there's
It's
a
a high
lot at
testosterone
stake.
sport. Yeah,
There's a lot at stake. You can't just go there and turn up. But if you're not performing on the field, the manager can't talk to God he's on field. The captain will tell you like, "Hey,
yeah.
that guy went past you. Could you like put your foot, put a tackle in? You just let the guy walk past you. Those kind of things." So in your case, you don't think Bruno's a bully
Oh, it's not. Far from it. Far from it.
because they said Anthony needs more time. You don't want to emotionally scar him. Like, what are we talking here? Are we? Are this?
He's a first team player. He's made an impact. He's been good since he joined the club. He's scoring goals, but he's not consistent.
Mm.
What do we expect from a winger? What do we expect?
Dribble and put the ball across in.
Yeah, you got to whip that ball in. You got to beat your player. You got to get to the byline, and you've got to get in behind the defense. He's not doing a lot of that at the moment.
No, it's not.
So he's not living up to the standards of a winger.
So when Paul Scholes said this earlier in the season, people said, "Oh, Paul Scholes is criticizing," but when you think about it now, that's a bit of truth. It's all coming. It's like everything's not coming out in the wash. See what I mean?
Mm,
Because he said that, oh, he just gets the ball, passes it back, and just runs. He doesn't. And Anthony now scored and was doing something like this to Paul Scholes, referring to like you talk too much. But Paul Scholes played for United for 13 years. He knows what he's talking about. Sometimes, you know what I mean.
mm,
He saw it. He will say what he saw. That you get
yeah,
the ball, you don't dribble, you pass and you run, you don't cross,
yeah,
and this is where we are today.
yeah. He's just taking the easy way out, isn't he? He's like, I'd want a winger that tries to get past that last player,
I
that
know, right?
that left back, get behind the left back and whip the ball in. I don't, if you don't make a great cross all the time, fine, but at least you're trying to get past that
Exactly.
player and attack and create chances and create opportunities for your striker. And if he's not doing that and he just runs forward, does a bit of samba and then passes back to the midfielder, so I'm thinking, well, what was the point of that?
Exactly.
Okay, maybe you've taken a player that way, but what have you offered me in terms of attack?
That's
Not
what my
much.
point. Oh, just cutting a chance score from the left. Is that it? Gonna always be that? Is that it? I
No.
mean, when we had wingers, we had Ryan Giggs, had before. I mean, in the same era, Lee Sharp. They went past the player and put the cross in. Because when I had Brian McClare on the show, he said, "I said, whose crosses did you love most?" He said, both of them were good wingers, but he said Lee Sharp's crosses had a better bend, and I was able
Mm,
to react to Lee Sharp's crosses than Giggs' crosses.
yeah,
That's a centre forward saying the kind of ball he got that delivered his goals because they whipped the balls in.
yeah.
This guy Sancho's
It,
not whipping in,
no,
Anthony's not whipping in. So we're just relying on the fullbacks to keep whipping in, and they can't just rely on fullbacks. What are we
no.
there for?
That's the thing, isn't it? We don't have anyone that really whips that ball in nicely from the left or the right. Not the way that Alexander Trent does or
Yeah,
Robertson
he's
does.
he's also a defender as well.
Yeah,
Is it just that modern wingers don't cross the ball anymore? That
modern.
is that where we are?
What, what I mean, what is the point of having a winger who doesn't cross? I don't
I
get it. I mean,
don't get
yes,
it, mate. That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. I don't
Ziyech,
get it.
okay, Ziyech today, for example,
Mm,
he doesn't have the pace of Anthony.
mm,
Yet his balls are pretty much pinpoint. He
really?
he creates the space, whips the ball in to just to the edge of that 6 yard box where the
Mm,
striker is going to pick it up,
right.
and he does it with consistency, and that takes practice and that takes confidence building. You try, and then you start to find your range.
Right.
You know, Anthony's a skillful player. He's got talent. Why is he not practicing that? Is it not part of his game? Does he just like to keep the ball on the ground and dribble and do his samba?
Even the dribbling, I'm like, mm,
Yeah, I mean, I know he
I'm
was
not, I'm
brilliant.
not,
Oh,
I'm,
sorry.
I'm just not feeling his dribbling. I'm just not
No,
feeling it. I
you
feel,
feel like a show pony.
yeah, I feel like he just, I don't know. I just
To
think he's
me,
overrated as of
to
now.
me, he seems like a show pony. If you see the way he's been this dressing on the cars he's driving, yes, okay, that's all part of the fame, but he seems to me like he's going through this period of where, yes, man, I've made it, I've made it, I've made it, and he wants to show it off.
Mm.
And he's a show pony on the pitch as well. He's like, that thing that he did, the pirouette, spinning around 360. He did it at the most unnecessary time, and he got told off by Ten Hag, and he got criticised. That's Anthony. He can do that stuff. He's a show pony, but he has got skill. But he's just not applying himself well.
So if you're not going to apply yourself, what's the point of being there?
I think he needs to be benched, and I,
Uh,
and
yeah,
we need another right winger to be
of
his
course.
competition.
Yeah,
I think
I
Palestri
agree.
could do it.
That's what I'm saying. I
I was
mean,
saying before that when Sancho was playing for us every single game, I said he needs competition, and I think Garnacho is the guy to do it. No one agreed.
yeah,
Garnacho then came into the fore, and look at him now. I think
hmm
Palestri is that guy.
yeah, I think so, mate. I think Anthony is that kind of player. We used to say, as you know, in London, they'll say, um, looked good from far, but far from good. It's true, mate. He has everything, the Brazilian flair, but I'm
Yeah.
not seeing any of that, mate. I'm not seeing it. So we've come to the show. We've come to the conclusion. A captain needs to do what a captain does, which is
Yes.
cajole, delegate, lead, let the team know we need to
Reprimand.
reprimand players when you're not doing well. But this
Mm.
modern day footballers, they're sensitive. Their
Oh,
emotions
don't
get
hurt
hurt.
my feelings.
He's hurting my brand. I mean, is that where we are? Is
Yeah.
that where football is now?
Man,
Any
no,
little thing, I'm gonna go report to my agent.
no. It cannot be. Football is an aggressive sport, with 22 men with high testosterone levels, playing with real aggression and fire. You've almost become a different player when you're playing on the pitch. You forget
Mm,
who you are.
mm,
You play with testosterone, with
mm.
energy, with adrenaline.
100%,
You
mate.
ain't got time to deal with sissies.
I'm telling you, mate.
And I think our fans have to
Sisters, I haven't
also,
heard that word in a long
yeah, and I think the fans have to get behind the players.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you, mate. It's simple. So like I said, I'm old school, and I love when a captain goes to a player's face and tells him, "Effing get your shit together.
yeah,
Get it together, mate. Stop faffing around."
yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of like giving you a thumbs up, give me a bloody thumbs down. Don't be scared to tell him you effed up. I know cameras catch every little thing now. They want to, visualize and bring in because the cameras now sometimes they put things out there so fans could talk. I watched how this, like when Ronaldo's walking off the pitch, they see him talking. Just the cameras also what I call they fuel fire. You see what I mean? They fuel things. They magnify and make it astronomically bigger than it actually is. Oh, why was Anthony receiving so much verbal bashing from Bruno? Because he did not do what he was supposed to do. That's what captain's job is there. Oh, fans on Twitter took off. Bruno's a bad captain. I don't know who made him captain.
Who's saying that?
Oh, you just go on Twitter, mate.
They
It was
don't
all
know
over
what they're
Twitter.
talking about.
This is what I'm
Is there
saying.
is there another captain type material in that team? Is there? Because the backup captain is Maguire is supposed to be the club captain, but he doesn't play. Can you identify someone else that can be captain material? I can't think of anyone.
Not that I can think of right now. No, I think Bruno should be the captain. I remain the captain. And Maguire needs to just come in what it is, what it is. That's what it is.
Come
And
in for
I
the
respect him. Carry on bashing players who don't do well. If they miss a part, let them know they miss out. So next time, cause King, you could see King, he was like this all the time, in the face, like. Neville said he got a lot from him. Even Scholesy said, "Listen, when you're on King's team, you be." When Rio Ferdinand first joined Man United from Leeds, they were training. He said he made one pass back to the keeper. Like he said, "Hey, everyone, stop! Where the f do you think you are? This is Man United, not Leeds United. We play the ball forward, not backward." You heard what I said?
Yeah, play the ball forward, not
Yeah.
backward.
Real
Yeah.
Fernandes said that was his first day training. He said he was shaking his boots. That this ain't effing Leeds United. At Man United, we play the ball forward. Stop effing looking for an easy pass backwards. Get on with it. He said through that training, he just had to like keep looking for.
So what do you think that does to a player? Thinking about that your club captain basically is telling everyone how we play football here, what the culture of the dressing room is, what the culture of the club is. What do you think what impact does that have on the player?
It made the
To
player
be
like
to be
relax.
someone so that typical alpha male captain. What do you
But
think it affect?
people came at me. That's a different era. What the hell does that mean? A different era? So if a
Uh,
player makes a bad pass, just like turn the other way, like I didn't see it. Is that where we are? He's
yeah.
affecting the team.
So for me, what that basically means is that you join a club and you've got such a fearsome alpha male, tough captain who's setting the standards for the football, for the club, for the culture, and for the direction they want to be in. He is basically that proxy for that manager, giving out the instructions to the players.
Mm.
Ferguson didn't go in that dressing room. The players dealt with it. Senior players dealt with it. The club captain dealt with it. Keane says, "This is how we play football. I'm not going to accept anything less. You know, you're going to come. You have to come to our standard to play.
Mm.
We're not going down to your standards. So you adjust to how we play football, and that's what I expect from
100%.
you. Every
100%.
minute of that game, you do not give up. I don't want to see any sisters on the pitch, and that's effectively the message he's giving out. So what's wrong with that? It made them successful.
Exactly my point.
Mm,
Like I said, I don't believe in it's a different era. I don't believe that.
mate,
No.
if this football is
If
not
you're
for
messing up,
sissies,
you need to be told you're messing up.
yeah,
You don't have to wait till halftime to be told you're messing up. No, you messed up right there, right now. Try not to mess up again. End of.
exactly,
And Roy
exactly,
Keane was, you lose the ball, go effing get the ball back.
exactly. And
He
that's
used to
one
he
thing
used to
that.
scream at he used to scream at everyone. Beckham, Giggs,
Well, why not?
and sometimes they would like tell him. I remember one time Gary Neville, you could see on camera, he told Keane to go f off.
The
But
thing is,
Keane already got his word out. Like, listen, you are
yeah,
effing messing up down that right because they're going past you and putting balls in. Get your act to effing act together.
right.
So yeah,
I
I get
mean,
it.
you can imagine it must be a fearful and stressful time playing under Keane. Yes, I
Oh,
can imagine that. But
Keane, then Alex together. Oh boy,
well, Alex is even more fearsome. You know,
right
he
in your
had that
face, Ed dry.
exactly.
I wonder if they still do that these days. Man, just still do it. I think they do.
No,
Arteta looks like he does it.
does he?
Yeah. Did
Wait,
you ever see that
that
documentary that
kind
leaked
of
out?
that Dracula look, isn't it? I'm going
Yeah.
to suck your blood.
Did you see that
Yeah.
Amazon documentary of Arteta? The clip was going around social media last year. Him ripping into the players, and some people were saying, "Oh, you should not talk to people like that." I said, "That's football. It's allowed." No, it's not allowed to him. That's verbal abuse. I say, I don't have the time to argue with you now. You are following basketball and American football. Leave this part alone. On that note, I told them, let's just call it goodbye and good night.
Are you talking about all or nothing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's passion, but people don't understand it. In soccer, it's completely different.
Mm.
You have to tell the players these guys are being paid 100,000 a week. I expect you to give me 2% performance. Hell no. It's not like you know. If it was right, you'd be paid as you play perform. But you're
Yeah.
getting paid 350. You give me 2%, you're still getting 350. You give me 1%, you're still getting 350.
Yeah.
Exactly. But this is the world. Well, Vin, it's been an absolute pleasure today. You said a 1-1 draw. I'm going with a 2-2 draw tomorrow against the Emirates. I'll take 3 points, but if it doesn't work out, I'll take a point to just slightly hold them back. But I honestly feel United really need to not, when they have chances, they got to take the chances.
Yeah.
Arsenal defense is not great. It's the attack and midfield that do most of the pushing you back and force you into errors. That's what they do. If United have what it takes to attack that defense, then that defense will crack. Remember, we played them last season. We were on top of them. The Bruno missed the penalty.
Mm.
So yeah,
I hope Wout gets a goal, tomorrow.
It'd be nice.
They say it's a 1 in 2 for that
That'd be
guy.
nice.
So tomorrow that's his second game.
That'd be
If he
nice.
does, then he'll get him started, and then you've got Rashford to support, and they
Is
support each
Marshall
other.
out? Marshall's out, right?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I don't think he was training.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think his time is coming to an end at United.
You think so?
Martial. Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to be more of a sub player. But then at some point, do we keep him on the payroll of such big money if he's always injured? I don't know.
So he's played under Louis Van Gaal,
Yeah.
Mourinho, Ole, Carrick, Ragnick.
hmm
6 managers.
Yeah. I think once we get another striker in,
In the summer, right? You're looking summer,
yeah,
right?
summertime. So yeah, he's too injured, too injury prone. His fitness has always been a problem.
Getting worse, mate. Seems to be getting worse with him. I don't know. Is it the medical staff not doing a good job?
Could be. It's also down to him, isn't it? How he looks after himself. Does he do the right things to stay fit? Does he have the right nutrients? Yes, the physio can do so much for you, but it's how you look after yourself as well. What does he do? I don't know. Does he train? Does he train enough? Does he do enough strengthening exercises? Does he eat the right foods at home? We don't know.
That's true. Right? Vim, it's been an absolute pleasure. See you in the post game tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll be smiling tomorrow afternoon after the match.
Hopefully. Yeah.
I'll
Fingers
see you after the
crossed.
game tomorrow. You take it easy, brother.
Take it easy.
Take care.
See ya.
I'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.